Okay, guys, I have to do this. I thought about it. I think I mentioned it, and yeah, I'm doing it. So, update on the house fun. We got more fun yesterday. Did I mention the mold? If I didn't mention the mold, yeah, they discovered mold when they went to put the shower in, so they had to tear all that out, do all the things. Yeah. Well, yesterday they put the shower in, and the depth of the shower surround is less than the previous one. So there's quite a bit of wall. I mean, it's about a foot of wall around it, and then of course above it. And they're like, we think you're gonna need to do something there. That's gonna get wet. And so now she's doing tile. We went to Home Depot last night. It was really funny. She saw the little penny tiles. She saw the black matte ones, and she was like, "Ooh, I like those." And I'm thinking, black matte. You've got sunflowers in this room, and you're going black matte. It's kind of like a bumblebee. But we weren't buying anything. I wanted to see the bathroom, see how much space there really was, because at that point we didn't know, and kind of get a feel for black matte. I just wasn't sure. I mean, I liked the look of them, but in there I wasn't sure. I walked into that bathroom and I was like, duh, it's perfect. She's got all these little shelves with the black metal accents. She's got a black frame on her mirror, and there was something else with black. Oh, her fixtures. The shower head, the whole thing. Yeah, it's like, duh, yes, this is a great idea. What were you not thinking, Shatona? But anyway, so, but in the process, I was supposed to start sanding that mudding again, and she's like, where are my baseboards? I went all over the house. The baseboards to her bedroom are gone. She's got a guy coming to nail them in for her. She'll do the rest, but she just wanted to get them in again. And he's got a nail gun, so it's literally 10 minutes and he could have them all put back, right? Yeah, they're gone. And I finally find them in a pile of trash out the back door. Some of them broken. So now she has to put all new baseboards in, because as far as we can tell, the drywall guy, when he went in to get something, decided to be helpful. Yeah, not so helpful. So now we have more work to pay for, and it's just like, but anyway, so I'm going to go over in a little bit and do some sanding on that and get the texturing on the drywall so that can be painted and that can all be finished. That'll be great. But yeah, I just realized I filled the gaps on the baseboards, and I didn't need to, because they can caulk those. Now, do I chop it back out or not? I don't know. We'll see. Wasn't thinking. Anywho, totally off. But so I got to thinking about this, and yeah, we're gonna go with a renovation theme. If everything is like falling apart in your life, maybe we need renovation. So I came up with a a stack of books that have a renovation theme. And I have a lot of these at my house, but I wasn't going to get any. I decided I could either do the renovation, get the renovation books, or I could do the video, but I didn't have the bandwidth for both. And so I decided, forget it, we'll just do video, we'll have little pictures, life is good. But then on the way out here, I was like, that one book, literally, I open the back room door, I can reach in and grab it. I don't even have to step in the room. I know exactly where it is, and it's right there, right next to the door. I'm like, I can grab it, at least I'll have one book. And then as I was walking from there to here, so 20 feet from there to here, I was like, I bet there's at least two in that room. And there were exactly two. So I grabbed the two that are in here. I have a whole list, way more than two. But I was like, why not? We live once. So I have this list of books that have some sort of renovation in them for whatever reason, right? And I figured let's go for some of these I've read and some of these I found. Okay, so we're going to start with the books that I know nothing about, just found. There's only two that I know nothing about, but I found them and I thought, let's find out what we can know. So one is a series. It is the Home Sweet Home romance. It looks like the rom-com, which is why I was like, oh, maybe I could get into this. So these are by Ellie Hall. I have never read Ellie Hall. I know nothing about them, but the one that I looked up was listed under Christian fiction. So I'm hoping that I have found myself a new author, right? And it says about the series, it says 4 women compete to land the coveted Mrs. Fix-It role on the famed home improvement show opposite hammer-wielding stud Mr. Fix-It. After a series of comedic mishaps, they go into business together, buying, remodeling, and fixing up homes, landing them with their own show, designed to last. As they build their own happily ever afters, they also discover a strange mystery in Butterberry and have to solve it in order to save the quaint small town from underwater ruin. I don't know about you, but this whole underwater ruin thing got me. I mean, the rest sounds like fun and just, whatever. But, the whole series is all about renovations, right? So I was like, yeah, that sounds like right up my alley. I can get behind that. So there was that. There are Mr. and Mrs. Fix-It Find Love. And then there's Designing Happily Ever After. The DIY Kissing Project. That does not sound like a book for me, but I might read it because the rest. And then it looks like there's like a Christmas novella in the middle or something, because it is, well, the price is the same, so it may not be a novella. It may be whatever. These are on Kindle Unlimited, but it's the True Romance Renovation, the Christmas edition. Oh, there's more than 4. Extreme Heart Makeover, Building What's Meant to Be. So yeah, there's a lot of, I think I have another, I just happened to find that Elsie Turner's second book in the Presley Thurman Cozy Mysteries is available on audio. Okay, well, I'm going to need that. Okay. Anyway, but I don't really know anything about this. Has anyone read Ellie Hall? Is she funny? I mean, for me to do romance, funny is what I need. So I'm just saying. It's really interesting. It says follow the authors. And then there's Ellie Hall, follow. Ellie Hall, follow. Their same exact picture. I'm so confused. But whatever. So that was the first one that I found that I know nothing about. And I was like, I want to know. And then second was, and this one got me. So I don't know if I'm the only one who loves old black and white movies around here. I could be. And that would be fine. It would totally be fine. But Cary Grant and Jean Crane. Was it Jean Crane? I think it's Jean Crane. Are in People Will Talk. I want to call it Dr. Pretorius because that's how I always think about it. But they're in a movie called People Will Talk. And in People Will Talk, there is this unusual, unconventional doctor his opinion is that a lot of modern medicine, and this is like black and white era, right? But a lot of modern medicine is kind of there to maintain a person's life as opposed to make sick people well. And that he makes this big point about it. But in there's this big brouhaha about when he lived in Goose Creek. Well, this is Tales from the Goose Creek B&B. I mean, come on. I had to look at it and I can't recall. I feel like this said it was, let me look it up. I think it said that this was Christian fiction, but now I can't recall because there was one that wasn't, that I started to leave on the list. And then, yeah, it's Harvest House. So it's Christian fiction. The first book is The Most Famous Illegal Goose Creek Parade. Okay, so this book isn't the one that talks the most about the renovations, but this is what the first book in the series has. It says, in this first book of the tales from the Goose Creek. Bloopers waiting to happen, Krista. I'm blaming you. From the Goose Creek B&B, you'll fall in love with a small town that feels like coming home. Its quirky characters and their many shenanigans will make you laugh out loud as they touch a place in your heart. Even though retirement is still 3 years away, Al Richardson is counting the days. He anticipates many enjoyable years in which every day feels like Saturday. But Al's wife, Millie, has different plans for their retirement. When she learns that a Victorian-era home is up for sale, Millie launches a full-blown campaign to convince Al that God's plan for them is to turn that house into a B&B. But a B&B won't be the only change for the small Kentucky town. A new veterinarian has hung up her shingle, but she's only got one patient, the smelly dog belonging to her part-time receptionist. And sides are being taken in the issue of the water tower, which needs a new coat of paint. But no one can agree who should paint it. The situation is coming to a head. Who could have imagined a town protest over a water tower? And who would believe it would culminate in an illegal parade? I'm like, wait, what? But the second book is Renovating the Richardsons, and Millie is hard at work renovating a drafty Victorian house into a B&B. And her husband is writing checks for the renovation. So, I mean, come on, that just fit what was going on right now. It's like, poor Kayleen, every time she turns around, she can't get a break. And I'm like, yeah. So that one sounds good. If anyone has read these, I would like to know. They are on audio, and I did not listen to the audio sample to see if I was going to like them, but they're on audio. All right, so next up is one of the ones I have a physical one. Low Country Lost by T.I. Lowe. And this one is about a whole renovating an entire town. So, I mean, if your need for commiseration is epic and huge, everything that can go wrong will, maybe this is the one Kaylee needs. Anyway, I'm thinking a whole town is probably going to cut the mustard. So, yeah. So it says, sometimes what haunts you the most is wondering what could have been. That doesn't sound anything like renovation, but I spoke to her, and so I know. Ava Lee Elvis prides herself on being able to fix just about anything, except her past. Unable to put the puzzle of her life together, she pours heart and soul into making neglected places whole again. As the owner of Low Country Lost, Ava Lee spends her days in hot pink Carhartt overalls and a tool belt, reclaiming low country properties. Ava Lee's latest project takes her to tiny Somewhere, South Carolina, a long abandoned town. She ignores its ghostly folklore, but can't miss the shock of hearing the familiar Irish brogue that materializes on the job site. The voice of the man she never wanted to see again. We can just stop right there. Yeah. So, fixing things to deal with frustration and problems sounds like a great thing when everything you need to fix becomes frustrating. So I thought, yes. Now, have I read this one yet? No. Do I want to read it? Yes. This sounds amazing. Come on. An entire town somewhere. And somewhere, South Carolina. Come on. Somewhere. I'll be somewhere listening. Anyway. So, I mean, come on. Yeah. So that one definitely got me. And then there is the Renovations Inc. series by Regina Red Merrick. I have wanted to read this for so stinking long. And have I done it yet? No. No, I have not. So book one of, so Reno, her last name is Reno, and she owns a business, Renovations Inc. And that's what this is. But this whole series is about renovations. And the first book is Heart Restoration. And it says, for interior designer Lisa Reno, things go from bad to worse when her contractor brother falls off a ladder and breaks his leg. Now she has to deal with the past coming back to haunt her, an old house with a corpse in the creepy cellar and her best friend trying to fix her up with any man that moves. I love that, any man that moves. Hey, at least she's not going for the stiffs, right? Anywho, Nick Woodward is willing to do his old college roommate a favor, especially since it involves renovating his own inheritance. The last thing he wants is to get involved with anyone's. When he lost his wife and unborn child so suddenly, he had made the decision to keep God and everyone else at arm's length. So far, so good. The difference to a dingy basement makes. Yeah. Come on, remember, there's a corpse in the creepy cellar. Yeah. This sounds so good, and I just remembered another book. I'm going to go find that book because this made me think of it. Don't ask me why. I got no idea. All right, so next up is another actual physical book, The Color of Home by Kit Tosello. By the way, they have the most amazing teas, but they have Christmas and Sisters, I think is their Christmas tea. Guys, with a little half and half and a little sugar, it's like drinking the best chai you've ever had. It is so good. And they might not agree with me, but I don't care. It's so good. I only have a tiny little bit left, and you can't get it until like October or something. Like, I want more. But anyway, great teas over there. Just put that out there. Anyway, The Color of Home by I'm so sorry, Kit. Yeah, I'm fine. Everything is just fine. The Color of Home by Kit Tosello. I still haven't read it, but I've been wanting to. Again, all the stuff. So it says, the life she's designing may not be the life she's meant to live. I want a period at the end of that sentence. Okay, where's my period? Just give me a period. Anyway, Audrey Needham, Bay Area interior designer to the rich and pretentious, I love that, is already on thin ice with her impossible to please boss when her great aunt Daisy asks for support as her husband descends into Alzheimer's. Now Audrey is risking the career she worked so hard to build as she returns to Charity Falls, Oregon. Her feelings toward the idyllic small town are complicated. While she has many good memories of her childhood summers there, Charity Falls is also the place her father was killed in a tragic fire at the Sugar Pine Inn 13 years ago. Despite Audrey's intent to avoid emotional entanglement, something should be done about the deteriorating inn. A local girl with an incarcerated father needs a friend, and a handsome local do-gooder, Cade Carter, is coloring Audrey all shades of uncertain. I love that. The pull of home is hard to resist. So again, we're renovating an inn and all the things. There's a lot of inns. You'll see that there's a theme going on with inness. Okay, I mean, I was just like, okay, so renovations. I feel like I need to write a renovation book that has zippo nada nothing to do with an inn. Oh, I just got an idea for book strings. Oh, wow. I mean, wouldn't it be fun if someone was just fixing up a building that they inherited or they bought or something? They don't know what they're going to do with it, but they're like fixing it up. And along comes Milton and says, well, this town doesn't have a bookstore. You need a bookstore. That could be the one that takes place in Flippin, Arkansas. I found out there's this town, Flippin, Arkansas. It's named after the Flippin family. And all of a sudden I was like, I have to go and have a book there, because come on, can you imagine a bookstore called Flippin' Pages? I mean, come on, it's gotta be a thing. So yeah, we have another book strings book that we didn't need, but we need. I would do this in the Greenville, Tennessee one, but that is to honor a bookstore that's been around for 50 years, so we don't want to just make it all new, right? So yeah, no. But yeah, wouldn't it be fun? That would be a different renovation project. Yeah. Have to think about that. Anywho, this is not brainstorm time, Shatona. This is a read about the books time. Next up is The Happy Camper by Melody Carlson. Melody Carlson has 3 on this list. So clearly she's all about the reno stuff. And I loved that this one was about a camper because I've always wanted to do that. In fact, when I was writing Hearthland, and, you know, he had to have his his little camper to live in until little travel trailer, you know. I bought an entire course on how to renovate a camper so that I could get the stuff right. And I watched all the videos and I, you know, played with all the things. And I'm not kidding you, I almost bought a camper to gut and do so that I would have it right. And the only reason I didn't was that I decided that the price that the guy wanted for the one that I wanted was too good to be true, and I didn't trust it. So I was like, nope, I'm not doing this. I don't want to find out that I missed some major, the axle is going to break any second thing, and I don't know how to check for that. So I didn't do it, but I was that close because the price was probably like $1,200 or something. And I was like, it's exactly what I want. It looks, I don't know if this will show, but it looks just like that. Oh, I don't have to do that. I'll put a picture up. Anyway, it looked just like that one, which looked very much like when I lived in one. So I was like, but no, I didn't do it. But I came that close. It's a thing. So I was really happy to see something other than an inn, for one thing. But also, second thing, and I think she has another one, like second time around. Did she renovate that store before she opened it? She might have, but I'm not going to go look. 3 from one author is sufficient. Anyway, it says, home is the place to heal, right? At least that's what Dylan Michaels is hoping as she leaves her disapproving career? Well, maybe. Her disappointing career and non-starter love life behind to help her grieving and aging grandfather on his small Oregon farm. The only problem? Her eccentric mother beat her there and has taken over Dylan's old room. After a few nights sleeping on a sagging sofa, Dylan is ready to give up until she receives an unlikely gift. Her grandfather's run-down vintage camp trailer, which she quickly resolves to restore with the help of Jordan Atwood, the handsome owner of the local hardware store. And just when things are finally beginning to run smoothly, Dylan's non-committal ex-boyfriend shows up with roses and a ring. Full of quirky characters, family drama, and sweet romance, the Happy Camper will have you scouring Craigslist for your own diamond-in-the-rough camper to restore and hunting your local hardware store for a handy guide to help your dreams come true. Okay, I gotta listen to the Audible sample because if it tells me I'm gonna want one, I need to listen. So let's see what it says.
You're hungry and tired. It's been a long, hard week at work, and you just need a nice evening of no. She held her palms toward him. I'm finished, Brandon. I mean it. Don't try to talk me out of fine. He snapped. If that's how you want it, fine. He turned, and she could tell by the way he clomped the heels of his good calfskin loafers. He was vexed.
Okay, not bad, not bad. And I think if you just moved it to like 1.1, it would read just a tiny bit smoother. And so I think I will be listening to this because yes, and it's only $11.47 for the audiobook. So I won't use a credit. I will buy it. This is what I do. If the purchase price is less than a credit, then I buy it. If the purchase price is more than the credit, then I use the credit. Yeah, I'm that person. But anyway, so yeah, The Happy Camper by Melody Carlson. But wait, there's book number 2 by her. Another in B&B thing. And a receipt. Anywho, so, and I got all my little Honey B&B goodies. I forgot about those. I don't think I saw it when it came in. Oh, you plant this and you water it and it should grow. I will take that inside, plant it and water it and see if it grows. And I've got my little signed and my little, yeah. So, anywho, all the bee stuff. I talked about how I got really like obsessed with the collie videos. Yeah, I'm also now obsessed with this one beekeeper gal who rescues bees. Her name's Erin something, but I just love watching her just scoop her hand in, no gloves, not wearing any gear, just scoops her hands in and just moves them onto the new hive like it's nobody's. I was just like, yeah, that's pretty cool. No, probably not going to ever do that, but that's really cool. So anyway, so yeah, when those come across, now I have 2 kinds of videos that I watch because, well, actually 3, because I do like to watch the furniture flipping and yell at people who do really ugly colors. I don't care if you paint furniture. I really don't care. Do I prefer wood? Yes. Do I like to see what they do with paint? Yes. Do I like it when it it's just ugly. And I'm like, this is no better than what we started with. No, I do not. All right, guys, I know I'm working on it. Okay, so welcome to the Honey B&B by Melody Carlson. We have another, it's very similar to the Color of Home by Kit Tossello in that it's well, you'll see. When life feels like it's closing in around you, sometimes the solution is to open the doors wide and invite others in. Jewel McCary is on the brink of unraveling as she heads home to Oregon to help care for her father, who has early onset dementia. Her 13-year-old daughter is upset about the move. Her beekeeper dad is a humorous handful. Her mom is overworked and overwhelmed. Finances are stretched tight. And, according to her father, the neighbors are nothing but trouble. Despite all these challenges, Jewel takes on one more when she convinces her parents to turn their decrepit farmhouse into a B&B in order to make some needed money. Her old high school flame turned contractor steps in to help, but Jewel isn't sure she can really trust him. And those troublesome neighbors, the handsome widower and his teenage daughter, just might be the key to making all this work. Get ready for a summer filled with family, good humor, and new beginnings. And this is exactly why I actually haven't read this yet. I decided I did want to read this during summer. It just felt like I should. But doesn't that sound good? Yes, and renovations, because renovations. So yeah. But wait, there's more. So then we have A Mile in My Flip-Flops. I don't have it here. Another Melody Carlson. I read this one either at the end of the last year or at the beginning of this year. I don't remember which. But A Mile in My Flip-Flops was, it was a lot of fun. It's not like the best book I've ever read, but I cracked up. It was fun. It was just a whole lot of fun. All right. So, I mean, the cover of this book, guys, I love flip-flops and jeans and a tool belt. That just makes me smile. But, let's see what this says, and then I'll give you a little bit, whatever. 30-something Gretchen Hanover is stuck. Seeking solace from a broken heart, she traded wedding plans for home improvement shows and ice cream. But she knows she can't live on Ben & Jerry's forever. She also knows that her enthusiastic lab puppy has outgrown her tiny apartment. The perfect patch. Is this... Krista, you tried this one. The perfect patch for Gretchen's dilapidated plans? That is not easy. She'll become a first-time house flipper. As ideas go, it's daring and genius. She'll take out a short-term loan, buy a fixer-upper, renovate it, resell it, and use the profit for an adorable house of her own. What could be easier? But Gretchen's plan to quickly flop when the house turns out to be in worse shape than she expected. She's relying on her retired contractor father, but he wants to draw in his carpenter friend, Noah Campbell. And although Noah is handy with tools, Gretchen isn't so sure about the baggage she brings with him. Will she be able to loosen her grip on the tools when it seems Noah might be her only hope? Yeah, and it really does. This one is the one that feels the most like Kayleen right now. The difference is that house would have been uninhabitable. It was a problem. Kayleen's was inhabitable until the pipes flooded everything, and then it wouldn't have been. But then it would have ruined all her new floors. So we're really glad that we found out about this in plenty of time, can I just say. But yeah, you get that fly. You get him, Neville. You get that fly. Show him who's boss. Yeah. Anywho. But, yeah, it was one of those, if anything can go wrong, will. And I gotta say, there's an adorable child in the book. The child is not the baggage. Okay, I just gotta put that out there. The dog is a heap of fun. Her dad is a sweetheart. And I really enjoyed the book. Like I said, not the best book ever, but I really did enjoy the book. It was just a fun, light read. One of those things where you go... yeah, this is good. Okay, move along. So, I mean, if you're looking for something deep, it's not deep. It's not intended to be. But it was a whole lot of fun. Those are all the ones that I haven't read. And, of course, the first ones were the ones I didn't know anything about. Now we're getting into, with my flip-flops, these are the books I have read and I know something about. Okay. Next up, the Cape Cod Creamery. Mother and daughter go on daughter's honeymoon. when fiance cancels the wedding, and mother buys a just decrepit old ice cream shop on Cape Cod. I think is it in Chatham? Maybe? Not sure, but definitely on Cape Cod, and everything ensues. All the ensueness. And yeah, there's not only in that one, not only are we dealing with the renovations and the cleaning and the learning to make enough ice cream to feed people, but also they're dealing with a historical society, because everything has to be done historically and up to the historical code and all that. So it takes something difficult and adds extra layers. So there's that. I don't recall if the other books have it, but I know the first one, The Sweet Life, does, and I think there might be some in the last one, but I don't know about the second book. I don't remember. Yeah. And if you're wondering, the dogs are panting because it's hot and they refuse to go into the house. And I'm like, well, then you can just be hot. Next up is Confusing Cassie by Joanne Markey. I want to read her synopsis because I don't want to get it wrong, and because it'll give you a sense of Joanne's voice. She writes romance, rom-com, and she's slowly adding, it's really fun, she's slowly adding some like mystery and suspense into them, which is kind of hilarious because she really doesn't like tension personally. Anyway, so this first one, it's the Postcards from the Sea, and I love these covers. I think they're so cute. I love the fact that she just went with something fun and didn't cave to popular opinion that says nobody will know what it's about. Well, it's like, it's under rom-com, it's under romance, it's obvious that there's some sort of thing going on. So I just love that she did it. It's so cute. Here's the synopsis. My name is Cassie Brand, and my life is a shambles. To start with, I'm renovating my grandmother's house in the hope of turning it into a functioning bed and breakfast soon enough to avoid debtor's prison. Oh wait, wrong time period. Same difference though, because if I fall behind, Dearborn Subtle, aka Doofus, will gladly take the estate off my hands. Why? I don't know. Don't want to know. Don't even care to find out. But I will do anything to keep that from happening, including making a deal with the devilishly sly, smart, and handsome Jake Garrison. It was supposed to be simple. I help him get back into the dating game. He helps me with this month's loan payment. It's all in the name of good friendship until it isn't. Now I'm in over my head and head over heels, and I think I just discovered that Doofus isn't my worst enemy. I want to scream, make it stop, but I think this disaster train was of my own making. Yeah, lots of fun, and that is exactly how her books read. They're very just personal, chit chat back with you. Lots of fun. Kisseltoe Misses was one of my favorite Christmas books this year. It was just so much fun. But this one, I mean, come on, Renovating and B&B. I'm telling you, it's a theme here. It's a theme. Next is by Love and the Dream Come True by Tammy L. Gray. I have to say, this series wasn't necessarily my favorite. They're really, really, really romancy and a bit much for me. But this last one, which I think was my least favorite of the books, if I recall correctly. It's been a while since I've read them, so I could be wrong. I think it was my least favorite, but it was also the one I learned the most from, and I think I gave it really high ratings because of that. There was a lot to learn in it, and so that made it not being my favorite. And I think mostly the reason it wasn't my favorite was because it was really, really, really romancy. If you love romance, you'll love this series. But it's book 3 of the State of Grace series. It says, their faith will face its toughest test yet. 4 years after getting the biggest break of his life, Cameron Lee's music career has taken a nosedive, leaving him 2 options: become a sellout or give up on his lifelong dream. He reluctantly returns home for his sister's wedding, hoping to avoid his past and find his love for music again. Single mom Lexi Walters has suffered her fair share of tragedies and setbacks, but she has finally scraped together the money to achieve her dream of going into business with her cousin as an interior designer. When Lexi's life is at an all-time high, she runs into her teenage crush, Cameron Lee. Lost in the emotional turmoil of failure, Cameron is immediately drawn to Lexi and her infectious smile and optimistic spirit. Moreover, he adores her mouthy, no-holds-barred daughter. But fantasies only last so long, and soon Lexi and Cameron must face the real world, one fraught with heartbreak, disappointment, questions that can sometimes only be answered with a leap of faith. So where's the renovation? Well, that interior designer thing, yeah. The cousin, I don't remember. I'm assuming the cousin is the one who actually ends up injured. But he can't do the physical hard work. He can't, all the, she's supposed to be the interior designer, choosing floors and whatnot, and he's supposed to be doing the work. Well, he can't. So she's having to do things she doesn't know how to do or isn't accustomed to doing, and she's having to try to make it all work without all the help. And so it was that's the renovation part. I felt like it should go in here because there's definitely renovation, and this time it's not a B&B, and I thought that was a good thing to throw in. Just something slightly different, slightly different. I think book 2 in that series dealt with rescue dogs, and I don't remember what book 3 was. Okay, on Moonberry Lake, this is a light. The next 2 of these are renovation light, I'm calling them. But on Moonberry Lake, when this gal inherits her grandparents' lodge, and she goes home to this place that she's only been a few times, it's in pretty terrible repair, and she's got this. Oh my goodness! Is her name Wheezy? I think her name's Wheezy. Oh my goodness! This old gal who dotes on her dog and is like the best handyman ever. Those two get together and they start working on this house, and it really was a whole lot of fun. Just a whole lot of fun. So for what it's worth, on Moonberry Lake, it definitely has the renovation, and in a different style of renovation, you have this older woman who is still just gripped in grief, who lives in a little shed cottage thing in the graveyard of the area, Moonberry Lake, and she cleans, and it's not just renovate. So she adds things to the gravestones, carves or whatever, to reflect the person who was there, because she is just so desperate not to let people be forgotten. And so that was a different kind of renovation in it, but I felt like it needed this needed to be an honorable mention in here. Or The Divine Proverb of Streusel by Sarah Brunsvold. The gist of this story is that this gal is struggling with her parents' divorce. She's an adult. Her parents are divorcing after, 30 years. Her dad has gone off the deep end. She's very bitter against him, and she goes home to the family property and is there with her uncle. That uncle, I loved him so much. He is such an amazing character. But she's also helping clear out grandma's house and there's small, very small renovation kind of things. You're gonna paint the walls and stuff. Small renovation stuff going on there, just a little bit. But in that, she also finds grandma's cookbook and cooks her way to healing and getting to know family and all the stuff. But for small renovations, that is definitely an option. And then last, I'm gonna throw in my Aggie's Inheritance series. Book 1 in particular. The rest of them have a little bit of changes, but for the most part, book 1 is the only one that has renovations. They're big renovations. Aggie, at 22, almost 23, inherits her 8 nieces and nephews. Doesn't really know anything about little kids, because I wanted her to have no real experience. She's just always been with the kids and with her sister, never by herself, doesn't know what she's doing. And now she is guardian of all these kids, and she's barely out of college. So what now, right? And because she also inherited a mother-in-law, the kids' grandparents, mother-in-law, she's got all the frustration of that. I mean, we're talking, I took stereotypical and I ramped it up. This woman is a piece of work. Yeah, don't like her. And so to get away from her and the constant assault on this is a family home and how can you let these things happen to this perfect family home, she buys another home and it's falling apart. It needs massive renovations. And so it's the whole first book is them patching together their lives while they patch together this new house and all that goes with it. So that one definitely has a lot. Neville, you have plenty of room. Go. If the door doesn't have this much space on either side of him, he's convinced he can't walk out. He's not a fat dog. I don't know what his problem is. But anyway, so with all of that, there's Aggie, and I'm putting the links to all of these in here. A lot of them are on Kindle Unlimited. Aggie is, and Aggie's also in a box set. So I just put the link to the box set on there because there is a little bit in each book, but mostly in that first one. So yeah. Okay, guys, I have to insert here. So before I did the video, I had sent Shalise a message asking for books with this theme in case I was like forgetting something major. And I did. I forgot two really our favorites anyway. So first up, if you're looking for middle grade and you have not read Gone Away Lake, and especially Returned to Gone Away Lake by Elizabeth Enright, anything Elizabeth Enright wrote should be read. I'm just going to say I love Elizabeth Enright, but the plot summary on Wikipedia, because the synopsis is terrible and I didn't want to get facts wrong because it's been at least a decade or three since I've read it. It says, Gone Away Lake opens on a train traveling through the countryside of western New York State. 10-year-old Portia Blake and her 6-year-old brother Foster are going to see their favorite cousin, enthusiastic amateur naturalist Julian Jarman. The Jarmans have regently. The Jarmans have recently purchased a house in the country. Once there, Portia and Julian spend their days exploring, and one day they discover an abandoned Victorian resort community next to a bog. Elderly siblings Mr. Peyton and Mrs. Cheever, the town's only remaining inhabitants, soon become friends with the children who set up a club in one of the empty houses. Stories of the days when the bog was a lake called Terrigo, I don't know, are interspersed with the modern-day adventures of Portia and Julian, who at first keep the lake and their new friends a secret. Foster soon discovers the secret, and eventually the rest of the Jarman and Blake families also become acquainted with the charms of Gone Away and its inhabitants. In Return to Gone Away, a sequel published in 1961, the Blake family buys and restores a house at Gone Away. So, yeah, there's Gone Away. And then the next one was, it's an oldie but goodie. It's Catherine Palmer's Finders Keepers. It's the first book in the Finders Keepers series. And it says, where'd it go? Fiery Elizabeth Hayes is determined to preserve Chalmers House, the Victorian mansion next to her growing antiques business. But Zachary Chalmers, heir to the mansion, has very different plans. Together they learn that God has the best plans of all if we will only surrender to him. And yeah, she's so much fun. She has adopted a little Russian boy. He's so adorable. And there's a little girl, her name's Montgomery, but he calls her McGunnery. I don't know. He is such a sweetheart. I love this kid so much. But that book definitely has a lot of really fun renovation and all the plans that go with it and all the things. So anyway, I had to throw those two in here. If you have renovations coming or you want to know why you don't want to renovate because you don't handle this kind of stuff well, yeah, these and many other books listed oh, let's do it this way. Sorry. Might be possibilities. I am not getting that middle book. There we go. Hello. How about like that? These and many other books might be good possibilities. So yeah, just thought it would be kind of a fun, slightly different thing. Why not? We live once. But what about you? Are there renovation books that I need to know about that you're like, yeah, especially renovation mysteries? I would love to see renovation mysteries, and didn't see them. Doesn't mean that they aren't there. But I was specifically looking for Christian fiction, and all of the ones that I have are listed as Christian fiction. So anyway, but here we go. Lots of fun stuff, and yeah, I will see you Monday, I hope, with something, and no more troubles. That's what we're going for. No more troubles. No more. Say it with me. No. I'll see you later.